Scotland is a country with a world-class university system and vibrant communities. I know. Uh, I had the pleasure of going to St Andrews for a while, and one of the ancient universities of Britain, and it always held a special allure for international students. And the bustling campuses of Edinburgh and Glasgow and Aberdeen offer a unique blend of academic excellence and cultural richness. From the First Minister John Swinney's recent proposal, the proposal yesterday about introducing a Scottish graduate visa, is a visionary step forward, addressing Scotland's pressing demographic challenges while reaffirming its global appeal and trying to redress the nonsense of the oppressive regime wheeled out by Theresa May when she was Home Office Minister all that time ago. And I remember very much that Humza Yousaf used to stand with a placard saying "refugees welcome," or "immigrants welcome." I can't remember the exact phrasing, but the that instinct to encourage people to come to Scotland and to benefit from what it's got to offer, and then having studied there, to continue uh, to use the skills that have been provided to give something back in tax and service. It's visionary, and it's forward thinking. It's a forward thinking plan that is stymied by Westminster's arrogance and inertia. And the Scottish graduate visa proposes to allow international students 2 additional years to live and work in Scotland after completing their studies. This isn't just a warm gesture of inclusion, but an economic necessity. Scotland faces an ageing population and declining birth rates, and skilled graduates from abroad could fill gaps in the workforce, bolster tax revenues, enrich our public services from healthcare to education. And as Swinney eloquently says, we need people to come here to live and work to bolster our working age population. This isn't an untested idea. The fresh talent working in Scotland's scheme of 2005 allowed graduates to remain for 2 years, and it successfully increased graduate retention in Scotland. And tragically, the scheme was abolished in 2012, swept away in a tide of anti-immigration rhetoric that continues to dominate UK policy. Now, Swinney wants to revive and refine this model, tying the visa to Scottish tax codes and requiring recipients to live and work within Scotland. It's practical, it's targeted, it's entirely within Scotland's economic interest. Yet here lies the rub. Migration policy is not devolved. Westminster retains control, and it's dragging its feet, locked into what Swinney aptly describes as an anti-growth direction. The UK government's refusal to devolve into immigration powers is not just a bureaucratic quibble, but a deliberate undermining of Scotland's ability to chart its economic destiny. The Home Office, ever hostile to flexibility, ever hostile to work, ever hostile to a new idea, ever hostile to discussion, ever hostile to picking up the phone and actually talking, ever hostile to any form of interaction with the outside world, a cocoon of indolence, argues that the current UK-wide graduate route is sufficient. It's not. It doesn't work here in England, it doesn't work in Scotland, it doesn't work in Wales, it doesn't work in Ireland, it's useless. And anybody coming to the UK from abroad has to face the fact that basically they're here to be fleeced and then to be thrown out. The graduate route neither prioritises Scotland's specific needs nor addresses the unique challenges of retaining talent north of the border. The logic behind Swinney's proposal is unassailable. Scotland's universities consistently attract some of the brightest minds from around the globe because they're good universities, and these students pay exorbitant fees, far, far higher than domestic rates, only to find themselves pushed out upon graduation. Why would we educate these individuals, see them develop ties to our communities, and then waste that potential by sending them away? We need to consider the broader benefits. Retaining international graduates enhances Scotland's innovation and productivity. It supports sectors that acute skills shortages with acute skills shortages in healthcare, in engineering, in renewable energy, and it ensures businesses have access to a global talent pool. And let's not forget, these graduates enrich our cultural fabric, bringing diverse perspectives and experiences that strengthen our society, seeing things from a different point of view. Westminster's failure to act reflects its short-sightedness and its stupidity. And the UK government appears more interested in placating xenophobic elements like Farage and Robinson at its base than in adopting pragmatic policies that work. Its insistence on a one-size-fits-all approach ignores Scotland's specific needs and aspirations, and worse, this reluctance to cooperate risks driving a wedge between Scotland and the rest of the UK, further inflaming constitutional tensions and almost ensuring independence within the next few years. Swinley's proposal isn't just about immigration, it's about fairness and common sense. And it's about telling Westminster to open its eyes and get off its backside. It's about recognising that Scotland has distinct challenges requiring tailored solutions, and actually what works in Scotland, what will work in Scotland, will work in England as well. It's time for Westminster to grow up. If it's wise, it should embrace this opportunity not as a concession, but as a partnership. Devolving this aspect of migration policy wouldn't undermine the UK, but would demonstrate a willingness to cooperate for mutual benefit, to see whether or not this works, because I believe it will. To the international students eyeing Scotland as a destination, I hope this plan comes to fruition. Scotland's universities are brilliant, and its people are welcoming. You deserve more than to be treated as a cash cow. And as to Westminster, stop squandering opportunities to strengthen the union and recognise Scotland's needs, honour its contribution, and for once prioritise progress over petty politics and the laziness of a Home Office institution that can't even pick up the phone. It's time. This is the moment where cooperation triumphs over arrogance, where Scotland's vision for the future is not shackled by outdated policies but empowered to flourish on its own terms.